to note here that while the text doesn't make mention of it, David certainly knows that he serves an all-powerful God. He knows it because he knows God's track record. He knows it because God has already shown up and shown out in his life. My. He knows it because he himself has already been a benefactor of God's omnipotence. He knows it. If anybody knows that God is all powerful, it's David. It's David. It is David who is considered in the eyes of people a nobody. He is David who is considered somebody who's considered unworthy. It's David who the Bible says is kind of written off and he's not even shown to be worthy in the eye of his own family. Y'all remember the story? You remember the story when Samuel goes looking for the king in Jesse's house, and Jesse prances 7 of his sons in front of the prophet. And the prophet said, no. Is there yet another? Well, yeah, I do have another son, but he's a ruddy fella. He's a ruddy fella. He's not somebody you would want. I'm using my imagination here. I'm interjecting words here. Said that's not the one you want. This he's a little boy. He's a little boy. Matter of fact, it's David. You know, David. He's out there. He's out there tending the sheep. He's dealing with the stinking stuff, the dirty stuff. Surely you can't be interested in David. His own family wrote him off. And yet God says, I'm not interested in the outward. I'm interested in the heart. Send them to me, send them to me, send them to me, send them to me. David is one who is a benefactor of God's omnipotence. He's the one who God empowers to go and to deal with a lion and a bear. He's a benefactor of God's omnipotence. He's one who God makes a mighty king over all of Israel. He knows that God is all powerful. Only God can empower a boy with the boldness and the strength and the fearlessness and the confidence to stand up in the midst of a bear and a lion. Only God can take a young man who everybody said, no, man, go on and sit down somewhere. That's Goliath. You don't know who Goliath is. You don't know the power that's in Goliath. Come on, man. Come on. Only God. Only an all-powerful God. Only a God with all strength in his hand can empower someone like a David with just a slingshot and 5 smooth stones. My goodness. Y'all know the story how David took a slingshot and 1 smooth stone, and he went and he got in front of the mighty Goliath, and with 1 slingshot and a stone. Only God. Only God could do it. Had nothing to do with David. It was God's power at work in his life. If you continue reading the particular psalm, you'll find that David is asking God to deal with his enemies. He's asking God to deal with his enemies because he understands that if there's anybody who can take care of that business, it's God. If there's anybody that can handle your enemies, it's God. If there's anybody that can help you to deal with your trouble, it's God. If there's anybody who can help you navigate the persecution and the hardship that you might be experiencing, it's God. It's God. It's God. It's God. It's God. There's something for all of us to learn here from Psalm 139. If God knows David and knows his every move before he makes it, if God knows David's thoughts from afar off before he thinks them, if God knows his every activity concerning when he gets up and when he lies down and everything in between, if God knows every word that comes to David even before it comes to his tongue, if God knows every intricate detail concerning David, if God is with David no matter where he goes and no matter where he is, if God is with David in good times and bad times, if God is with David when he's up and when he's down, I stop by here to remind you that if God is with David in all of those instances, God is no respecter of person. In other words, God God is also concerned about you as he is about his concern for David. Well, I think I need to go to my seat. And so let me run along here and finish up. You need to understand that David goes to God because they had a history. And they had a relationship. And David goes to God, why? Because he knows that God's got him. I stopped by here just to encourage somebody in here today. And I know it's just a few of us up in here today. But God doesn't waste words. In other words, God delivers a message, and when he speaks, his word goes out and it confirms what it is that he sent to confirm. I need you to know that God is here to encourage you, and he told me to tell you that I got you. In other words, he told me to tell you that he's concerned about every intricate detail in your life. He says, I know exactly where you are. I know exactly what you're feeling. I know what you're experiencing currently in your life. I know exactly what people are treating you and the ways that they're treating you. And I know exactly how it's making you feel. But not only do I know what you're feeling, I'm here to tell you that I'm right there with you. Beloved, I stopped by here to tell you, I don't know exactly where you are or what you're experiencing, but the God that we serve, he knows all about it. I stopped by here to tell you, I don't know what sort of trouble you're experiencing. I don't know what persecution you're enduring. I don't understand what hardship you might be up against. But I'm here to tell you that the God that we serve, he understands exactly where you are. He understands exactly what you're feeling. And I stopped by here to remind you that he's right there in the midst of your situation. In other words, he's there in the midst of your trouble. In other words, he's there in the midst of your persecution. In other words, he's there in the midst of the hardship that you are experiencing. And you need to know, not only does he see it, not only is he there with you, but he's the all-powerful God. All-powerful in the sense that he's not there just to see it. He's not there just to be with you. He's there to help you to handle it. He's here to help you to navigate it. He's here to help you to get through whatever it is that you must go through. I understand that you're troubled. I understand that you're facing persecution. I understand that you're dealing with hardship. But I know that the God that we serve, he's got you. In other words, you might feel like you're going to this way, or that you're going that way, or that you're getting ready to fall backwards. But the God that I serve, he sent me here to tell you that he's steadying you. He sent me here to tell you that he's got you. So in the midst of your trouble, in the midst of your persecution, in the midst of the trials that you're experiencing, God is going to see you through it. And is there anybody here who can look back over God's resume? Is there anybody here who can look back over your life and think back to what God did for you 10 years ago? Think back on what God did for you 5 years ago. Look back on what God did for you last year. Look back on what God did for you last month. Look back and see what God did for you on last week. He's the same God yesterday, today, and forever. If he did it for you 10 years ago, he's able to do it now. If he did it for you 5 years ago, he's able to do it now. If he did it for you 1 year ago, he's able to do it for you now. I stopped by here just to remind you, just to tell you that God's got you. No matter where you find yourself, God's got you. Hard decision has to be made, but God's got you. So in other words, when you move, he's got you. There's something about, I'll be honest with you, there's something about whenever you have an assignment to a church that you're not a part of and you don't know exactly all the intricate details of it. Well, Lord, what am I going to say? What do you want me to say? And generally what tends to happen is that before you say it, you've already experienced it. But in this instance, there was confirmation for me on the way up here. Because my wife was talking to me and she was saying something and was registering with me. Okay, what I'm going to preach to your people, God, you're saying to me. In other words, the decisions that need to be made, God's saying, I got you. When you step, I got you. When you step, God says, I got you. The trouble that you're experiencing, God says, listen, I already know what it is. I already know it. What you need to know about my omniscience is that not only do I know it, but I also know that I'm going to bring some glory out of you. I also know that it may be troubling you now, but all things are going to work together for your good. And while you may not understand it right now, by and by, my goodness, by and by, God's going to show you. It's going to work it all together for your good. What we need to understand is, make the decision and whatever it is that you got to do, God says, I'm right there with you. And I want you to know there's nothing more comforting and nothing more God can assure us more than that listen, whatever you do, I'm there with you. I got you. And I'm the God who's got all power. So whatever doors I need to kick open, I'll kick it open. Whatever doors that need to be made, guess what? I'm God enough to make the door. Whatever people who need to be moved out of the way, I'm God enough to move it. Whatever people that needs to be in your presence to do what it is you need to do, guess what? I got you. And I'll make sure that you have everything that you need to accomplish what it is that I place in your spirit to do. I got you. Don't know exactly why David penned this song. But we do know that he understands something about God. He's omniscient, he's omnipresent, and he's omnipotent. And if there's three things that we should keep in the forefront of our minds, is that God is omniscient, he's omnipresent, and he's omnipotent. When you combine those three things, you can't lose. My goodness. You're a winner no matter what the situation is. Why? Because God will ensure that you win. Maybe you're in trouble now. Maybe you experience persecution now. Maybe, just maybe, there's some hardship in your life now. But the God that we serve is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above what you ask or think, according to the power that is at work. You need to know that the God that we serve will make sure that what he's called you to do, you can and you will do it. If you trust him, if you give yourself over to him, and if you seek him as David did, because he has a relationship with God and he has history with God, so too do we have a relationship with him and history with our God. And one thing that I know, God has never failed. Been through many things, and all things, God has never failed me. Songwriter said, I come this far by faith, leaning on the Lord, trusting in his holy word. He never failed me yet. I cry, oh, can't turn around. We've gone far by faith. Come this far by faith. Stand to your feet if you will. Come on. Leaning on the Lord. Oh, trusting in his holy word. He never failed me yet. Can't turn around. We come this far hands and give God praise. Hallelujah. Clap your hands and give Him praise. Clap your hands and give Him the glory. It belongs to Him. Father, we thank you even now for what our eyes have seen and our ears have heard. Thank you for your word that gives us life, God. Hold on to your word, God, that you are omniscient, you're all-knowing, omnipresent, you're everywhere, here at the same time, and that you're omnipotent, all-powerful. Together, God, all of these things, God, you work everything together for our good. And we thank you, God, that in all things we are winners, and we shall indeed win, because that's what you desire for us to do, win. So, Father, thank you for your word. Father, I thank you for these people, God, for that, what you're doing in them and through them, God. Pray that you will give them strength, God, encourage their hearts, God, to continue on to do what it is that you call them to do. To be what you call them to be for such a time as this. The name that is strong above every name, the name of Jesus the Christ. Help me by saying amen. 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 Well, we're going to dismiss at this time. Let me simply say grace and peace be unto you from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Repeat that. From God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. You are dismissed. Go in the peace of God.